But just really quickly here, you have your type tool like in your text tool like in most programs. So, if I wanted to do some just, some regular, is it IE? If I wanted to just do some regular typing, I could do that. Not unlike what you would do in Illustrator. I can grab the anchors here, the sides, and open and close those. This right here, if I was sending this file to cut, I don't need to put any cut contour on there. I can send this file from Flexi directly to that machine from here without doing anything.
Why is that?
Because it's a vector file.
Oh.
It's a vector file, and Flexi is connected directly to this cutter that will allow you to cut.
Because you just created it right there.
So always request vector.
So text come in as a vector?
Yeah, when you're anything that you do in Flexi other than bringing in a bitmap is a vector. So right now, if I went to my little cut tool right here, if I hit that, this is the file right here. This is the file right here that's going to go to that cut.
How do you know how wide that is?
Well, I can look up here. Well, first of all, we have some tools right here for orientation. So I always like to make sure that my orientation is correct. But I can look right here and look at the size. It shows me the size, or when I typed this out, it brought up something called Design Central. And Design Central is always showing me the size. So right now, let's say if I needed something that was 30 inches. Again, it's proportional, so it's 30 by a little more than 6.5. I can make that not proportional. Also, I can stretch it if I wanted to. But anytime you start typing anything, the first thing that comes up is Design Central. And you have a few things in Design Central you can do. This right here is just showing you your XY position. This right here is showing you your size. Let's say I wanted to rotate. I can come over here and click on this tab and actually start to rotate. I can hold down my Shift key like most programs to constrain that rotation so it's not just a free rotation. If I want to do that 180 degrees, I can just do just like that. Or I could have just come here, of course, and typed it on it.
What if you're doing the background and print and all that stuff?
So when you say background print, you mean
Like say a background color?
sure. So now because we're going to be doing a background color, we're not just sending this through Flexi. Now we're going to save this as an EPS so we can send it to Onyx over here. So let's say
If you did that Jimmy word as a 90 right now, is it going to give you an error because you're out of the working
No.
area? No?
No, not at all.
Or do you have
So
to
there's
lock
no artboard here. I
Okay.
can be right here and I can still send it to my cutter, and as long as I see it right here, that's fine. This machine is, we have anything in there? This software is always polling or checking the size of the media that we have in Flexi and on the cutter. So if we had some media in there, what I would want to do is click on this guy right here. That's poll size, and it goes out, looks for the size of the media that we have in there, and then adjust this space relative to the size of our graphic, so we can kind of visually see, what size our graphic is to what size media that we have in there. Here I can change the font. If I wanted a different font, I can do that. Again, typically, for me, I kind of do this in Illustrator and bring it over here. But if it's something quick like this, I can come over here, look at different fonts that you guys have in your system already. Kind of scroll through them, select whatever I want, and that's ready to go. But let's say what you were saying as far as having a graphic in the background. I'm going to go ahead and I'm sure you probably have something in your picture. Oh, you don't, do you?
It's a new computer.
I was just looking for a quick, simple picture. Nothing on the drive.
No sample pictures?
Yeah, you probably have something.
What do you have it under, Jimmy?
Here. And while we're here, let's bring in that Pachanga logo. I want to bring in the EPS and I want to bring in the JPEG.
What is it labeled under? Okay, thank you for explaining that, Jimmy.
It's
Just different pictures, whatever picture.
Let's bring in the, let me just make sure. Okay, so it opened up another one, another window. We want to pop that in this guy right here, the untitled right here. So we should have placed that. So it's very easy for me just to come in here, select it. You know, I'm just going to cut this out, right? Just like,
Cut.
Let's see.
Control X.
let's see. I just paste it.
You paste it.
Okay.
And bring it over here. And I can select this, and just like in any program, I can arrange this. I can, yeah, I can send it to the back. Where is that? Here. Come over here. That's in my order, and I can go to back. And then, you know, I can enlarge that if I wanted to. Take this right here. Take it down some. Bring in my color palette right here. Here's my color palette. Oops, that's why I need this one. Yeah. So I have a series of colors down here that I can select from. So if I wanted to give that a different color, I can just select it and give it a different color. So this right here would be not a print and cut, would just be a straight out print, just a print. So this one right here, we would be saving as an EPS file. So because we're just printing this and there's no cut to it, we don't necessarily have to save it as an EPS file. We can save it as a bitmap file because there's no cut. The cutting needs that vector information, and that's why you would save it as an EPS. Once you save it as a bitmap, you've stripped out all the vector information. So if we were just printing this, it's just saving it as a JPEG or a TIFF or a bitmap or whatever. But if we decided to say, okay, well, I want to cut this area out right here, I would have to give it a contour, a cut contour. So I would have to select this name right here, I would come up to Effects and go to Cut Contour and select Cut Contour. It's always going to keep the last attributes that we used before. So before we came in, we choked it, so we brought that in. So it's the contour of it is the same as the star. All I need to do is just to remember to say, to check it. Now because we have,
You give it that vector path.
I give that vector path. Because we're cutting this out now I have to save it as an EPS because it has that cut file information, so it needs to be an EPS. Let's bring in that chain then. That's in the Z drive. Works.
G, then go.
Is it in alphabetical order?
Yeah.
No, that's name. There we go.
Hit name again. And then go. And then hit name again. And your logo.
Okay. So are all these the same?
Yeah, one of them is horizontal, the other one is vertical.
Okay.
A couple of them are JPEG, a couple of them are vector.
This is what I really want to see. Okay, so this right here is a true EPS file. But you didn't want the knockout like this, though, right?
No, I wanted.
There's another one.
You need black.
Where is that? Is that
Key black.
is that this one?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
So
Well, I wanted to take out this one and this one.
yeah. So just like in any program, that's ungroup and grouping. So right now, I'm sure if we brought this in, it's grouped. All I need to do is just right click on it and click. You see ungroup right here? Just ungroup it. And then I can select this area here, delete that part. This right here is the perfect file. There's no printing. All you're doing is cutting this file. So, but we can make it a color. Let me see.
Well, we don't have black material.
Oh, you don't have. Okay. So
Right?
we.
Do we have black?
We're gonna have to print it.
So that's fine. That's fine. So would you be
Get a roll of black.
So we'll have to print. We need 16 of those
We need
keys.
16 of those pieces,
So-
about 12 inches high.
Well, but
Not a
But not with the
problem.
logo.
Right.
Not with
So-
the logo.
Not with the pechanga resort casino.
Just the P.
Just the P.
So let's ungroup this. Right now, it's probably,
Taking it out of the trademark.
You just did a right click to ungroup?
yeah. So
Right.
first I clicked on it. Then I'll right click to see the options that I have.
Okay.
I don't have an option to ungroup this, and that's probably how they created it. So it's probably a compound path. Because if I look down here, I have something that shows uncompound. So I'll go ahead and select that and see what happens.
Ungrouping is actually.
Right. So now it allowed me to just select this portion of it without having to select that. So this is all we want,
Yeah.
right? So again, anything I select in Flexi, as soon as I select it, if this weren't there, Design Central would pop up. And Design Central, all that is just giving me the option of enlarging it, rotating it, stretching it out, doing some things to it.
That's why I didn't know how to do it.
Sure. So you have Design Central. You say you want it to be how high?
12 inches.
12 inches. So we want to make that 12 inches proportionally, right? So I just made sure that I checked proportionally. And the only thing I want to do is come over here to my height. And
Oh,
type,
it has that in there? It says proportionally?
yeah, you see, that's what I checked.
Oh,
Proportion on proportion. So the only thing here is my height. I'm just going to hit 12 and let the width fall wherever it may because we want this proportional, right?
yeah.
So this image right now, it's 12 by, let's say, just slightly over 6, but for 6. This is ready to print. Well, I'm sorry. We need to do one more thing to this before we can actually cut it. And this is going to because it's a vector file, it's going to be nice and straight. It's not going to be pixelated or anything
Can
like
we
that.
save it as a different name in vector because I need to keep the original.
Oh, sure, yeah. I'm not going to overwrite your original file. So, right, exactly. So the only thing that I need to do here is apply this stroke or the cut contour to this. So what we want to do is we want to go up into effects. So if we go into
Let me ask you, when you did the uncompound, and just to take the bottom parts off, at this point, whether it's compound or uncompounded, it doesn't matter. We don't have to go back and then make this image.
no. So
Or
so,
like
and so you understand what a compound path is or a compound image. There's no. This is just one solid image.
because like the P, the inside
Right.
came apart. and that's-
Absolutely. So I could actually, if I
But on
wanted
the safe side, just in case there's a second.
there's nothing there. I mean, let me do this just like
It
you
doesn't
said.
matter if we
Just to
do
be able
that.
I can move this around to take a look at
But
it.
you're not going to see anything else move.
Right. I can right click on it to see if there's any other selections I have. Now, I could, if I wanted to,
I want to save it as something else right now.
Okay, you're nervous?
Calm down.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So,
want to mess with Martin.
let's call this,
Had we selected only the name, like where the P and the A has those inside,
mhm,
then we need to regroup it back.
that's correct. Well,
Okay.
in that case, you're not, because I did the uncompound, we want to make a compound
Make
path.
it back to compound.
So right now,
Okay,
for
so this
instance,
don't matter.
this is a new
Wanna
file.
weld
So,
it?
so I'm not even going to weld this actually. So that's a different thing also. So right now, this is two separate graphics. If I want to make that one separate graphic, I can right click and make that a compound path. I can combine compound. Huh. That should have been a knockout right there. So we should have been able to see right through that. I don't know why I didn't make a hole. I can always come here and make it white and then do compound. I mean, that's a way of doing it. Huh.
Still not gonna, because they're doing a hole punch, the compound, right?
Yeah, that's interesting. I'll try something. I just want to send it to the back. So I have two objects here. If I click on this object right here, I can take this and send this behind that circle. I know that it's in front of that circle because if I click in the area of the circle, it's not allowing me to select it. So all I have to do is go here to order, and I send to back, and now my circle is in front. I just want to see if the position matters. So now I'm going to select everything and then do a compound path again. That's interesting. I don't know why that's happening. Sorry, something. flexi. Welding is just making it one. So it's a more, oh, okay, that's not part of what we're talking about, but I'm not sure why that's happening. Now we just need to add our cut contour to this. So if we go ahead and select it, we have to select it. If I come over here to effect, my contour is in my effects, and I click on cut contour. Now what happens in Design Central, you'll see I have something different. I have selections for my cut contour options. This is ready to go. If I wanted it to be ready, I could come up here and take it outside like so. Let's say if I wanted some white area around that logo. Or I can bring it right back on there to choke it right on there. But if I just choke it right on that line, if that cutter is cutting, there's any shifting, you'll see little white areas. So that's why I was saying,
Leave that bleed line.
that's correct. And I'm just
You can do
choke.
negative?
I can do negative. That's what we did. We just like going.
What's the number of negative you like to use?
You know,
Roughly.
so typically, Peter, I don't do this in Flexi. I do this in Illustrator where I'm doing an offset. So I'm doing the opposite. I'm taking my graphic and enlarging my graphic. With this one right here, a negative point, what is this, 0.10, 0.010, just where it comes on the inside is just fine. Because if your logo, you have to remember, if you have a 12-inch logo and you bring it in too far, well, you've just changed the size of your logo by cutting a portion of it off.
Right.
This little piece right here isn't going to matter. I could probably even come in just a little bit more, just to. Is that what it says? 0.02? Okay. Okay. I could come in just a little bit more. Who's going to know, right? And all you're going to see is, and you saw that star. You saw I had just a little sliver of it. Main thing on this, though, that you have to remember, and people always forget for some reason, is you can't just go on. You have to check it. You have to apply it. Now, this is the nice thing about this program right here. We've applied this. I want to do something really quickly. I want to show you something really quickly. Let's do that up here. Effect. Cut contour. Somewhere around here there's a, I can't see it. I think this is it right here. So you saw how we were bringing it in and out by using this. That's what this handle right here is for also. So I can take this handle actually and bring it in and bring it out and bring it in also. Instead of, using my numbers here. But just a little dot there, so sometimes it's hard to see. So we're going to check that and say OK. So this is one graphic now. So what I think is kind of nice about this, I can separate my cut contour from my actual image. So if I go back up to Effect, I can hit Separate Cut Contour. So now I can move it, and I have a separate cut contour.
And if we had black material, we can just cut it.
You can just put that in there, just like that. So now the only thing I need to do here is, so this is going back to your question. If I save this right now as an EPS and it's off this artboard, I think it will cut it off. That's because we're going to print. We're saving an EPS. If I was just taking this over to cut over there, it wouldn't matter. So what I'm going to do in that case here is, here's my artboard right here. I'm in Design Central. I don't have anything selected. So this number here represents the size of my artboard. So I can just come here, make that 13. Just for the sake of making sure it's a good size. And pop that in there.
For printing purposes.
Yeah, just for printing. And when I save this as an EPS, it's only going to look at the artwork and not the artboard. So when I bring this into Onyx, it's not like it's going to look at something that's, 13 3/4 by 13. It's just looking at this 12 by whatever that is. Because it's an EPS. It's not looking at the artboard. It's looking at the artwork. If we saved it as a PDF or a bitmap, it's the whole artboard.
So when you save it as a PPS, it looks at the graphical.
If we save it as an EPS, what will matter the size of the artboard if we're going to open it in Onyx as a single P, and then we're going to multiply it?
So because if when we first started, you saw the descender was below our
Yeah.
artboard. So typically in a program, if you save something as an EPS, it's looking for what's in this
Okay.
artboard, and it will
So
cut that
it
off.
matters.
There's a potential for it
Okay.
to cut that off.
Okay.
So that's why I wanted to.
So you need to make the artboard the size of what you're using, because if you're gonna take it to Onyx to multiply it, you don't want to have a bunch of extra.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
No, absolutely.
you just want to keep it tight.
Now, so again, so if it's an EPS file, once you save it as an EPS file, it's automatically going to delete this artboard and just look at the artboard.
Yeah.
If the PDF file, if I'm saving it as a PDF or bitmap file, you're absolutely right. I want to make sure that that box there is around the same size as my artboard.
How you doing?
Doing well. How's it going with you?
Somebody say that
You
again.
guys learn anything?